Let's find out what all this means and discuss this with Ridzwan Rahmat. He's a principal defense analyst with Janes. This is a UK-based defense publication and consultancy firm, but of course Ridzwan is based in Singapore. Ridzwan, thank you for your time. Now, the U.S. president is clearly standing alone today with this decision. It's not supported by anyone in his administration nor in his Pentagon. What are the dangers with this?
Well, what we're going to see is the evaporation of American presence on the ground in Syria. And I think the main reason why they were there in the first place was to protect the Kurdish minority, which has managed to carve out or control about 1/3 of Syria. And the Kurdish minority has always been facing the threat of an attack from Turkey and also the Syrian government. I think that was the main reason. And, you know, the most immediate implication is that the Turkish president might go ahead with his threats that have been going on for months to actually invade those Kurdish-controlled parts of Turkey in order to preempt, you know, the presence. I think President Erdogan has been very irritated with the fact that the Kurdish presence has been ongoing for so long, and I think with the evaporation of U.S. presence, he might just proceed.
Ridzwan, just explain for us again, the civil war in Syria has raged on for a good number of years. The price in the millions of lives it has cost, but there are all these foreign actors also with a stake in the outcome here. There is Turkey, you mentioned. There is also Russia and Iran. Sketch out for us where all this power play is lying today.
Well, the situation on the ground in Syria is actually an alphabet soup of militant groups, political parties, and also rebel groups. Yeah, so I think the biggest winner in this entire plan for the U.S. to withdraw, I think will be definitely President Bashar al-Assad himself. I think it's almost certain that he's going to be remaining in power. The only real threat to his power in the past few years has been the U.S. presence and support for the Kurdish rebels. And with that vacuum left, you know, he and his allies are free to do whatever they want. They are free to reign and do what plans that have been stifled in the past by the American presence. And I think the next biggest winner is Iran. Okay, I think Iran has been using Syria as a conduit for it to expand its presence and sphere of influence across the Middle East. We have seen in the past how Syria is used as the conduit for Iran to supply its elements in Hezbollah elements in Lebanon. And its movement was stifled in the past. And I think with the evaporation of the U.S. presence, I think nothing stops them from returning back to that kind of operations.
Now, President Trump is not wrong to refer to IS, you know, the so-called Islamic State. And whilst they were active in Syria, they're also active in Iraq. I mean, they've wreaked a lot of havoc there. What is the possibility that this vacuum you spoke about also triggers a resurgence of IS?
I'm not sure I would use the word resurgence, because resurgence would mean, you know, would suggest that they were dead or no, not there previously. I think the Islamic State has always been there, even in the past few years. It's just that they have evolved. Just a few weeks ago, there was a bombing in Raqqa, and the Islamic State claimed responsibility for it. So this shows that they are still very much alive. They may not have the same form of physical presence as they had in the past. They may not control territory, but they seem to have evolved into an underground guerrilla kind of tactics. And with this withdrawal that is going to happen over the next few months, you know, I think the military planners within the Islamic State will have a lot more options to expand their operations and going forward.
So you clearly don't agree with Donald Trump when he says IS has been defeated in Syria?
I definitely do not agree, and I think it is a strategic mistake.
What is going to happen now? Do you think there is any strategic value for the United States in continuing to support the Kurds? Is there any way feasible for them to do so without that physical presence in Syria?
The Kurds, support for the Kurds has always been a very critical element of the American-Iran strategy. Yeah, what is the strategy in the Middle East? And one of it is to give yourself a pillar of support for the Kurds. And it is, by the way, how it maintains a foot in the door, so to speak. So with its withdrawal for the Kurds, I think I do not see yet what is the strategy moving forward. I'm not sure if he has a strategy for it. I think in the next few days, defense planners in Washington are going to be advising against it. I think his allies within the Republican Party are advising against it. We'll see. We may see a reversal in this decision given the stakes.
Ridzwan Rahmat, always good to get your thoughts on these matters. Thank you very much.
Thank you.